Hello guys, Brad here again with another fragrance review. Today I want to look at a fragrance from the house of Bvlgari. I believe it's been a while since I've talked about the house of Bvlgari, but this one is called Bvlgari Man Glacial Essence. So I believe this is a flanker of the original Bvlgari Man, which I believe I've reviewed a long time ago. And a picture of the bottle inside the card looks really cool, and it kind of gives you that sort of icy appearance, sort of like a grayish blue, watery kind of a look to it. They sort of embody that glacial feel. The elemental power of a woody fougere fragrance crystallized by ice, signed by master perfumer Alberto Moraes, the infamous perfumer behind, I think, Fragrance One, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, this one came out in 2020. Classified as an aromatic fougere, with top notes listed as juniper berries, ginger, and geranium. Middle notes of sandalwood, orris root, and artemisia. In the base, clearwood, musk, and cedar. And based on the reviews of this fragrance, I've gotten some mixed reports on this one. Some people say it's kind of generic. Some people say it's kind of nice. I think I'm in the category saying it is kind of nice and refreshing and a pleasant surprise, because it does sort of veer away from that typical smell of a lot of the recent releases that I've smelled, like this bubblegummy, amber, and Broxton type fragrances that really sort of get on my nerves, plus all these Creative Ventus clones or Dior Sauvage clones. This one sort of has its own thing going, and it's pretty different and unique in my opinion from what I've smelled recently, at least. Can't really think of anything that I know of that smells quite like it. Some people say, oh, it just kind of smells like a cheap Gillette aftershave or something like that, but I think Bvlgari did a good job with this one, embodying what a glacier type fragrance should smell like, sort of cool, brisk, bracing kind of a thing. Now, glacier is an interesting theme, though, because it's not like people are going to be like, oh, yeah, I remember back in the 70s when me and mom, dad, and the sisters and brothers would hop in the station wagon and we'd get on that glacier at the national park and ride it down the hill. No, it's not something that you can sort of, relate to, but you understand what they're going for. Just sort of like a mountaintop, brisk air kind of a fragrance. And we've seen this before a few times. I think like Creed's Silver Mountain Water, stuff in that vein, sort of gives you that brisk, cool effect. And it does a good job, I think, with this one. I definitely get like that mintiness from like the geranium. And the juniper berry, kind of gives it a bit of like a sort of like a gin-like astringent type quality. So I think the geranium mixed with the juniper berry does a good job of sort of giving you that brisk, minty effect without smelling like bubblegum or mints or mouthwash or anything like that. A very nice, natural smelling mintiness, in my opinion. And I'm really sort of enjoying this one here. So sort of minty, bracing, astringent, but also sort of woody as well. Not a lot of citrusy notes here. I don't think any citrus is mentioned here. Maybe a touch of ginger, but I don't get a lot of ginger. But just a little bit of this, a little bit of that to kind of support the overall effect here and to make it overall a really nice fragrance, in my opinion. Definitely one I think you should check out for summer this year if you get a chance. I end up getting 12 of these samples on eBay to save some money. I didn't want to spend like $80 for the full bottle, but 12 samples, that's easily like 50 wearings or so that should be good for me. If you rotate your fragrances, that'll last you a few summers of wear and tear. So I'd recommend checking this one out, see what you think. Bvlgari Man Glacial Essence. The smell, I'm going to give it 8 out of 10. A really pleasant and surprising smell, in my opinion. A bit unique, but not so unique that it's off-putting or too different from what you may have smelled before, but just sort of a surprising, nice fragrance, in my opinion. Projection longevity. Now, this is where some people might be a little bit disappointed. We'll say like 2 to 4 hours, so maybe like a 6.5 out of 10 for the performance. Doesn't really seem to project or last that long. After a few hours, so almost forget you're even wearing it. Versatility, mostly for hot weather, I think, like spring, summer day wear kind of fragrance, not really like a night out fragrance. Um, Uniqueness, I'm going to say 8 out of 10. I don't really know of any specific fragrances that this reminds me of. Sometimes juniper berry can be a little bit off-putting to my nose. Like I do really like some juniper berry fragrances, like Frappan's from the Humaniste fragrance is really nice with the gin and tonic juniper berry. I think the other one that I don't like with juniper berry would be Mont Blanc Individual so much. I believe that has juniper berry in it, but this one, really nice take on juniper berry. Price point, it has dropped a bit from the initial retail cost. It's certainly below $100 now. FragranceNet, I believe, has it for $81, $89 for the 100 ml bottle. For me, overall, I'm going to give it 7.5 out of 10. Definitely worth checking out if you like cool, bracing, minty, woody type fragrances. Definitely worth checking out, in my opinion, especially if you can just get some samples for cheap and be like a new fragrance for your summer rotation to check out. So thanks for watching my review of Bvlgari Man Glacial Essence. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you guys later.